Hello and welcome to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell, Youth Services Director at the B.B. Comer Memorial Library. I'm so glad you've joined us today, and before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Robert and the TV station here. We appreciate all they do to help us get our events out in the community and different things that relate or connect to the library, so we appreciate them very much. Today, my friend Ginger Clifton is joining me again. I'm glad to have you again, very excited to have you back. This time we're talking about Sylacauga history, which is something near and dear to you. I know. Ginger writes an article called Remembrances of Sylacauga, and that's in Sylacauga Today. I get that correct?
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
Wonderful articles. I enjoy reading those. And we've taken some of the older articles, reading them and realizing how much they relate to Sylacauga history. And that's what we do at the library, preserving history. So some of those articles are on our website now. If you go to the website, go at the top, it says Sylacauga History, and they're Sylacauga History Facts. So, yeah, we're glad to do that. Following along in the footsteps of Betty Leslie, who wrote things for our website also with our history, and Dot Blocker, and all these people who've worked very hard, volunteered their time at the library to preserve our history. So, anyway, long introduction, Gingers. But thank you for being here. What made you get started I know you've loved to write for a long time, all your life, maybe.
Yeah, I have.
What made you start writing about Sylacauga history?
Well, I guess, as you said, I love to write. I love to read. I think readers make writers, and writers are readers, and you don't do one without the other. And my family was storytellers, my daddy's family and my mother's family also. But what made me get started with the Sylacauga thing was just the desire to preserve the kind of lifestyle that we had in Sylacauga when I was growing up. And I think I lived in the greatest decade. Everybody thinks that, I guess. The greatest decade in the world, being born in 42, and then most of my growing up years were in the 50s, and I met so many neat people and knew so many great personalities. It was a different type of Sylacauga than the Sylacauga we have today, and so I wanted people to remember it with me, and I know that they do because when I see them on the street, they tell me.
Right.
So Beth Yates and Maxie Veazey, for those of you who don't remember them, were at the recreation building, and they did programs for all ages, but particularly they were interested in teens. They were interested in teaching us good manners, teaching us how to relate to each other, and teaching us to dance, and
planning fun activities.
And so when I retired, Ms. Yates started taking an interest in my hobby, which was storytelling, and asked me to come tell stories at several groups that she attended, and we just got closer, and it was fun having an adult. When I was a kid, I looked up to her, and I was young, and she was the older person, and now for us to be friends, it was great. When she passed away, there was so much I wanted to say about her, because I did not want Sylacauga to forget Maxie and Beth and all that they did. And so I wrote the article, and I just went up to Sylacauga Today and marched right in with it and said, would you read this and see if you think you'd be interested in publishing it? And Ken said, oh, definitely. And he sent Byron outside to the sidewalk to take that picture, that horrible picture that's in there every week.
Oh, yes, it was Robert. Oh, no, the one of you. I thought
the one of me.
No, it's not a horrible picture, no.
But anyway, it got started with that article about her death, and I tried to tell about what a special person she was in that article. And
I think that's great. I enjoy reading them. I did not grow up in that time, just missed it by a little bit.
Yeah.
But I enjoy reading about the people because I knew Miss Yates and didn't know her as well as you, but knew who she was, and Maxie Veazey. And I enjoy hearing, and other people do too.
Well, so we started.
And there she is.
Yeah, there she is. We started off in the 6th grade. I would have been 12, and we had tween teams. Then we had lucky sevens in the 7th grade. Then we had 8-ball in the 8th grade.
Was this like a girls' club
No,
or just a club?
It was a teen club.
A teen club.
It was a teen club, and you came. All the 6th graders came on a certain afternoon. Seems like it might have been Thursday, but I don't know. Right. And they had a record player is what they had to teach us to dance.
Yeah.
And we would, and Beth and Maxie, the gym would just be full of, imagine that now, I think. What, they control the whole thing was just their voices, and they never got perturbed and ill and ornery, and they just taught us so much.
Wow. With a gym full of teenagers.
Yeah, and a record player.
That would scare me to death.
It would me too. It would me too.
That's women who really wanted to invest in that.
Yeah, we learned square dancing, we learned two-step, we learned a jitterbug, we learned the bop, we learned, as it progressed, they taught us the new things that were coming along.
Now, did the rec have a time where they would have a dance, and so you could go and practice what you've learned?
Yeah, we did. After we usually had it around Christmas, kind of like Stardust was for your girl.
Yeah.
And we would go. And the funny part about it, about the same time that the tween teams started, Little League Baseball started. So a lot of the boys wouldn't come that afternoon because they had ball practice.
Oh, yes.
But the non-ball players would come. And so sometimes, I'd be dancing with somebody that was half my height.
Oh,
boy.
That's about that time. Girls are taller and boys have not caught up yet. So
right. Or two girls would be dancing together, which now, people would just hoot about that. But you think anything about it. We just had wonderful times learning all that stuff.
How fun. And so nice that you wrote about that to tell other people
I don't
about
mean to diminish Maxie. Maxie was Beth's sidekick. She didn't take much of the the center stage, I guess. She wasn't as outgoing as Beth was.
But there for all the hard work.
Yeah, she was there for all the hard work. And she lived down the street from me too, on the corner of Spring Street where those apartments are, where Miss Conn and Miss Newman live and all in there. Yeah. She lived in a big house right there, and so we just felt very comfortable with them.
Nice, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to pause for a commercial break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more with Ginger.
Hi, it's Shawnee McNeil at South First Bank. This is a great time for you to buy or build a new home, or maybe refinance your present mortgage. Our rates are the lowest they've been in years, and that means saving you money. We've been helping our customers become homeowners in this area for nearly 70 years, and we can make our approvals right here in the office, and that means saving you time. We're located here in downtown Sylacauga. Come in and find South First, a better way to bank.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
As the Youth Ambassador for Get Healthy Talladega County's After School Healthy Meal Initiative, I want to share with you that the City of Sylacauga, as a Chance City, is working closely with SAFE to expand access to after-school meals. Help me spread the word to families that there are healthy meals available to children 18 and under. Every meal matters, and it all starts with you.
Hello and welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Ginger Clifton. We're talking about the history facts that she has on our website, which are articles you've written for Sylacauga Today, and we're glad to share those. And we talked about the one about Beth Yates was prompted by her death and you wanting to talk about her. You've had a lot of other stories. Some of them, how do you get your ideas for stories? Pictures, talking to people, things like that?
Well, with Beth, it was her impact on all of our lives. The second thing that really attracted my attention lately was a picture I found in my parents' old pictures of the bakery. It was the bakery at that time. Jones Bakery was down where the Daily Home office used to be.
Yeah, there's some of the family that we're going to talk about.
And that was the Jones family. Okay, they started the bakery. They had all those kids, and every one of them had seemed to have good business sense. That was Papa Jones and his bride with the corsage-looking thing on the front row there. That was Mr. Johnny Jones that started automatic gas to her left there. And each one of those men, there was Sidney and Lonnie and James and
that's
Johnny,
the family.
That's the whole
mom
family
wow.
right there. He worked in the bakery too. And
okay.
so anyway, when I found this picture, I didn't know any of that. I asked Janet Jones, who was Mr. Johnny Jones's daughter and still lives here.
Yeah.
I asked her, what can you tell me about this picture? And she said, well, not much, but I know where I'm friends on Facebook with James's daughter, Pat.
Okay.
So I'll give you her email, and you can email Pat. So I did that, and she sent me all these pictures. She sent me the picture of the family. She sent me the picture of the bakery building.
There it is.
And
Jones
see, I loved coming to the bakery with my daddy, and I skated up and down that sidewalk.
So your daddy worked at the bakery.
He
That's
worked
okay.
at the bakery. He was in that picture. See, that's why we had
okay,
it.
yeah.
I knew him, and I knew Mr. James Jones, who was Pat's dad. I knew him, but I didn't know the other people. But I found out a little bit more about the other people that were in there. Wow. But anyway, so Pat Pat was so excited that I was going to do something about the bakery. Her daddy was just a great man.
There's the inside of the bakery.
That's the inside, the showcases. Oh, donuts, Boston cream pies, gingerbread people. They even made bread. They had a bakery in Talladega, and they had a bakery in Sylacauga. And Daddy would go to Talladega because at that time they baked the bread in Talladega, and he would drive the bread truck at 4 o'clock in the morning to Talladega to pick up the bread. And I would ride with him. I loved it. I loved getting up early. Maybe that's why I like to get up early. But anyway, so anyway, and that's some of the people that work there. Imagine having a staff that big. But that was because there were 2 bakeries. And they really, they made their own donuts. They made their own birthday cakes. Everything.
Birthday cakes, donuts, bread.
I had a couple of big ovens down here in this bakery. And I can still smell those donuts and all that good stuff when I went down there. Of course, I was not allowed to beg.
I read that in your article, yes. You could ask, what was it? You could ask, no, you had to wait until you were offered.
Offered, yeah. And they always offered me something.
How fun, of you and your dad together. That's sweet.
So anyway, so she sent me all these pictures, and we started going from there. And that is why the bakery was so special to me, though. Let me make that clear, just like Beth Yates was, because of the people. Mr. Jones, he treated me like a big girl. He let me sit at his desk, which was kind of high on a stool like this, where there was one of those old ad machines that you pull back.
And yes.
He treated me like I was a big girl,
good.
And I loved it.
So what I'm hearing is your memories and stories and people are what prompt you to write.
Right,
and finding a picture.
Absolutely, and when people respond to it, all of Janet's children, oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know this. Even Janet herself didn't know some of it. And the Sydney's daughter in Talladega is still alive. I talked with her on the phone. So I follow up with my ideas by contacting people.
Right.
And that makes it more fun because you got new friends then.
Oh, yeah. And it's easy to connect with email and Facebook now, easier.
It's very, very nice. And then they tell me how much their children appreciate it. Oh, they don't have these pictures. She had them in her drawer somewhere, but they didn't really know about the stories of them. She started telling me all these stories about James's friendship with Bill Irby.
Oh,
you know,
he's a
Bill
writer,
Irby
yeah.
wrote for the Avondale Sun.
Okay.
He started the boys' club in Sylacauga, and then he also was very active in the Golden Glove boxing.
Wow.
So anyway, she sent me newspaper clippings, which you can get at the library.
Yes, you can. You can go. We have all the old copies of the newspapers, Sylacauga Advance.
News.
Sylacauga News, thank you. The Daily, I do remember some of the Daily Home. You can come in and look for those. I've looked up some things on microfilm. I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, where you can look those up and look up different articles by dates. That's kind of fun too. We have the Avondale Sun online.
I sit at my computer at home and I searched James Jones, and I found some of those facts that I put in my article in the Avondale Sun that the library provides, and it's just so convenient to sit there at your computer at home and look for these things.
Yeah, you can do it online. You can come in, and I have to give a shout out. You said you came in and thanked the staff and Nelda Vogel, who has helped you so much. I know. She's awesome.
Yeah,
she's
but not just Nelda. Everybody does at the library. They're so helpful, and they have so many resources. Another couple of resources are the book on Talladega County that the Daily Home did, and then Earl Lewis and Byron Roselle and the Easterling lady did a book on Sylacauga. They have lots of neat pictures, and that inspires me to look up stories.
Good. We have another thing that we try to keep up to date now. It's the vertical file system at the library. It's just folders. A couple of ladies at the library go through the newspapers. They cut out articles, say it's about First Baptist Church, or it's about B.B. Comer High School, or about the Kiwanis Club, and they're filed. I mean, maybe they're things that happen today, but 50 years from now, somebody will want to come back and look and see what happened. So it's really nice, and that we're still trying to preserve local history.
Right, because it's important. It's important for people to know what it used to be like.
I know.
And because if we know how important it is, and that's one reason I threw in that about reading at the very beginning. Teach your children to love reading. B.B. Comer Library is a big part of why I love to read, and that made me love to write.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm going to be very sure that my grandchildren learn that from me. Now, it may not take, but I believe it will.
Well, it has. Your son writes, your grandson writes.
Right, and I think that's important.
It is.
Communicating is not, don't just send text messages and stay on your phone all the time. Talk to people face to face, and you just be surprised what you learn.
Well, we're appreciative of people like you who are writing this down, because when y'all are gone, there's no one that knows this information.
I know, Nelda and I were talking about that. I said, Nelda, can you tell me, because she graduated from Comer and I graduated from Sylacauga, can you tell me why, when Mignon School became B.B. Comer School? In the early places that I researched, they call it Mignon School, then they call it B.B. Comer School. When did it change? Well, I don't know. So we went in there to the files and we started looking. We never did find the exact answer to that. I'm going to get back to that. But we were talking, she said the thing about it now is, who do you ask? And I said, I used to could ask some of the old people, but now I am the old people.
No, well, don't worry. Listen, we're going to pause for another commercial break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more with Ginger.
Not getting a good night's sleep? Come into King's Mattress Outlet in Sylacauga and let us help you get that good night's sleep you deserve. We carry the best quality mattresses at the best prices from Restonic, King Cole, and Park Place. Eurotop Queen mattresses start at $199. Check out our Restonic Cabot Eurotop mattress with 1,000 individually pocketed coils, marvelous middle for back support, and comfort gel memory foam. King's Mattress Outlet in Sylacauga. Best quality at the best prices.
As a designated Champ City, Sylacauga is dedicated to being sure that every child as a healthy meal.
Join us in spreading the word that healthy meals are available to children 18 and under as a part of Get Healthy Talladega County's after school and summer meals program.
Remember,
every meal matters.
So get up and get moving.
Get healthy, Sylacauga. Get healthy, Talladega County.
It all starts with you.
Hi, it's Shawnee McNeil at South First Bank. This is a great time for you to buy or build a new home, or maybe refinance your present mortgage. Our rates are the lowest they've been in years, and that means saving you money. We've been helping our customers become homeowners in this area for nearly 70 years, and we can make our approvals right here in the office, and that means saving you time. We're located here in downtown Sylacauga. Come in and find South First, a better way to bank.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hello and welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Ginger Clifton, who writes history facts for the Sylacauga Library, Baby Comer Library. And now we're going to start with another picture that we found of the coffee club. Tell about that picture.
Well, if you look in the background on that, all those are coffee mugs, and I couldn't understand why every man's got his name on a mug, and it's gold in gold. And I thought and all those people that are sitting around that table are Sylacauga men from the past whose names I recognized. I did not know, but whose names I recognized. Anyway, James Jones was sitting there, and that's why Pat had that picture. So I wondered why it said Dixie Coffee Club, where that could have been. So I thought, well, Dixie Drug, Dixie Coffee. I'll go down to Dixie Drug and ask Ray if he knows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. It was at my parents' cafe.
Oh, neat.
So that's how we got started doing an article on Dixie Drug.
Okay.
And on Dixie Cafe, which used to be right across from the library next to Watson's.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, so that's how one thing leads to another.
Right.
And then Ray said, why don't you do an article on the white midget? I can tell you all about that, and people really are interested in that.
Well, good.
So,
they have the white midget reunion, do they? Is it? Or
they do. They have a marble stone out there with everybody's name on it that contributed to that.
That's neat. Now here is that Bill Irby who used to write for the newspaper.
Yeah, and he's writing about James Jones. He agrees with me what a good man James Jones was. He did good things for the community. He stayed in the background. He wasn't the kind of man you'd see his picture on the front page of the paper all the time, but he did so many good things for so many people, and Bill did a real good job eulogizing him there. He worked out because he was busy with the
Golden Glove box.
The Golden Glove box. And he even landed his airplane on 21 one time. He flew, too. He was a pilot.
Wow.
He was just, he ran out of gas or something, can you imagine, and landed on the highway and had a successful landing. He was a fascinating person.
I bet. And Bill Irby wrote for the newspaper here, right? And that's how you've gotten a lot of your information, I guess, from his stories. How neat.
Yeah, he could write. Bill Irby could write really well.
I like those. Oh, now there's a neat story behind this.
Yeah, when he got sick,
James Jones,
and they called him Jimmy. All the nurses at the Sylacauga Hospital School of Nursing, which is pictured there, it had just been built, and he made friends with all the nurses who came in and took care of him. He died very young with a kidney disease, and so he told them, I'm going to bake a cake. I'm going to have my folks bake a cake in shape of the nursing school. And he passed away before that got to be done.
This was their graduation.
Yeah. But his wife and family saw to it that cake was made, and that was a picture of that.
That is so neat. That's real special. Special man.
So he was a special man.
Now
Ray told me this is the white midget. It was a teen hangout. When it was moved, it was more of a teen hangout than it was right here, because it was just an Airstream trailer. Mrs. McDermott had it moved from the place that she bought it from and set it up there on the corner of Fort Williams and Norton.
Okay.
And it had 6 or 8 stools on the inside, and they did short orders, and they did cokes and pie and all that good stuff, you know. And it was so successful because people came through Sylacauga on the way to Florida. This was Florida short route, they called it.
Okay.
And there wasn't a 280.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So
anyway.
this was the hangout for teenagers, sort of.
Yeah. And it was so successful that she traded that property with some property she wanted from her brother Claude Newman, and he moved it out on old 280 by Alcom. Wireless Communications Center.
So
it's still in that building out there. I went out there and they let me kindly go in and see what it looks like and how very small it was.
Wow.
When they moved it out there, they put a radio transmitting room on top, and they broadcast from out there. LR broadcast and
LR Ross, I remember. Yeah, so you could just shout out your request at the top.
Yeah, right.
How fun!
And that really made it a teen hangout. The thing about that was they hung out, but they didn't spend much money.
Oh well, yeah. Well, that's true.
Yeah,
you don't have a lot
and
of
they
money.
found that same thing to be true at all those that they built along in the 50s. It was sort of like on happy days.
Right.
It's sort of like Arnold's on happy days.
Yeah.
People hung out, but they didn't have any money to spend much. Piece of pie and a Coke, Right. But anyway.
But they had events.
Yeah, they had
events.
This is people who won the hula hoop contest, who could hula hoop the longest. This is the winners, and they won new bicycles. Western Auto or somebody helped provide that, WMLS radio. And they hula hooped for 6 or 7 hours.
I think they finally. I read your article. Did they make them stop? I think.
Yeah, they finally, because they wouldn't. There were several people that still hadn't dropped it, still hadn't missed.
That's amazing.
And our fellow teacher Janice Snyder won one of those. And she said when she quit hula hooping, she felt like all night long she was still hula hooping.
I bet. Makes me tired, but I think once you get started, you're okay. When you get that rhythm going, you're barely moving.
Yeah,
right.
But
that was fun events. You said you couldn't have gotten another car in the parking lot the day of the hula hoop contest.
It was really full.
Were you in the hula hoop contest?
No, I can't hula hoop to this day.
I had to ask. Sorry.
No, I can spin records though.
There you go.
They did that to record. That was record day.
Yeah.
That was not. And every now and then they might have somebody personally appear out there, but not much. But it was just a place to go and see your sweetheart. And like I told you earlier, my mama wouldn't let me go much.
Well,
Bob's, my late husband's name is on that plaque because his mama let him go. Of course, he was 6 years older than me, but my mama will let me go hang out there.
Me. Well, gosh, Ginger, we've got less than a minute left, but thank you so much for writing the articles in the newspaper, and we are so glad to be preserving a little bit of Sylacauga history on our website.
Well, thank you. I hope people will read it. I hope people will use the library. It's the greatest resource this town has, a connection to the past, but also a connection to the future because all of the good programs, and Mandy does these wonderful children's programs, and then Tracy and Shirley Spears do the brown bag, and it's just wonderful. It's a continuing education. If you're still alive, you need to be learning.
Well, we couldn't do it without people like you. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for joining us on Library Connection.